Campus Goddess, your host with the most, the Georgia Peach, the gorgeous goat herself. Let's get it.
David DeAngelis presents the Kybalion by the Three Initiates. Digitally narrated using the voice of Edward Herman. Introduction. We take great pleasure in presenting to the attention of students and investigators of the secret doctrines this little work based upon the world-old Hermetic teachings. There has been so little written upon this subject, notwithstanding the countless references to the teachings in the many works upon occultism, that the many earnest searchers after the arcane truths will doubtless welcome the appearance of this present volume. The purpose of this work is not the enunciation of any special philosophy or doctrine, but rather is to give to the students a statement of the truth that will serve to reconcile the many knowledge that they may have acquired, but which are apparently opposed to each other, and which often serve to discourage and disgust the beginner in the study. Our intent is not to erect a new temple of knowledge, but rather to place in the hands of the student a master key with which he may open the many inner doors in the temple of mystery through the main portals he has already entered. There is no portion of the occult teachings possessed by the world which have been so closely guarded as the fragments of the Hermetic teachings, which have come down to us over the tens of centuries which have elapsed since the lifetime of its great founder, Hermes Trismegistus, the scribe of the gods, who dwelt in old Egypt in the days when the present race of men was in its infancy. Contemporary with Abraham, and if the legends be true, an instructor of that venerable sage, Hermes was and is the great central sun of occultism, whose rays have served to illumine the countless teachings which have been promulgated since his time. All the fundamental and basic teachings embedded in the esoteric teachings of every race may be traced back to Hermes. Even the most ancient teachings of India undoubtedly have their roots in the original Hermetic teachings. From the land of the Ganges, many advanced occultists wandered to the land of Egypt and sat at the feet of the master. From him they obtained the master key which explained and reconciled their divergent views, and thus the secret doctrine was firmly established. From other lands also came the learned ones, all of whom regarded Hermes as the master of masters, and his influence was so great that in spite of the many wanderings from the path on the part of the centuries of teachers in these different lands, there may still be found a certain basic resemblance and correspondence, which underlies the many and often quite divergent theories entertained and taught by the occultists of these different lands today. The student of comparative religions will be able to perceive the influence of the Hermetic teachings in every religion worthy of the name, now known to man, whether it be a dead religion or one in full vigor in our own times. There is always certain correspondence in spite of the contradictory features, and the Hermetic teachings act as the great reconciler. The life work of Hermes seems to have been in the direction of planting the great seed truth, which has grown and blossomed in so many strange forms, rather than to establish a school of philosophy which would dominate the world's thought. But, nevertheless, the original truths taught by him have been kept intact in their original purity by a few men each age, who, refusing great numbers of half-developed students and followers, followed the Hermetic custom and reserved their truth for the few who were ready to comprehend and master it. From lip to ear, the truth has been handed down among the few. There have always been a few initiates in each generation, in the various lands of the earth, who alive the sacred flame of the Hermetic teachings, and such have always been willing to use their lamps to relight the lesser lamps of the outside world, when the light of truth grew dim and clouded by reason of neglect, and when the wicks became clogged with foreign matter. There were always a few to tend faithfully the altar of the truth, upon which was kept alight the perpetual lamp of wisdom. These men devoted their lives to the labor of love which the poet has so well stated in his lines. Oh, let not the flame die out. Cherished age after age, in its dark cavern, in its holy temples cherished, fed by pure ministers of love, let not the flame die out. These men have never sought popular approval, nor numbers of followers. They are indifferent to these things, for they know how few there are in each generation who are ready for the truth, or who would recognize it if it were presented to them. They reserve the strong meat for men, While others furnish the milk for babes, they reserve their pearls of wisdom for few elect, who recognize their value and who wear them in their crowns, instead of casting them before the materialistic vulgar swine, who would trample them in the mud and mix them with their disgusting mental food. But still these men have never forgotten or overlooked the original teachings of Hermes, regarding the passing on of the words of truth to those ready to receive it, which teaching is stated in the Kybalion as follows: "Where fall the footsteps of the master, the ears of those ready for his teaching open wide." And again, "When the ears of the student are ready to hear, then cometh the lips to fill them with wisdom," but their customary attitude has always been strictly in accordance with the other Hermetic aphorism. Also in the Kybalion, "The lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding." There are those who have criticized this attitude of the Hermetists, and who have claimed that they did not manifest the proper spirit in their policy of seclusion and reticence. But a moment's glance back over the pages of history will show the wisdom of the masters, who knew the folly of attempting to teach to the world that which it was neither ready or willing to receive. The Hermetists have never sought to be martyrs, and have instead sat silently aside with a pitying smile on their closed lips, while the heathen raged noisily about them, in their customary amusement of putting to death and torture the honest but misguided enthusiasts, who imagined that they could force upon a race of barbarians the truth capable of being understood only by the elect who had advanced along the path. And the spirit of persecution has not as yet died out in the land. There are certain Hermetic teachings which, if publicly promulgated, would bring down upon the teachers a great cry of scorn and revilement from the multitude, who would again raise the cry of "Crucify! Crucify!" In this little work we have endeavored to give you an idea of the fundamental teachings of the Kybalion, striving to give you the working principles, leaving you to apply them yourselves, rather than attempting to work out the teaching in detail. If you are a true student, you will be able to work out and apply these principles. If not, then you must develop yourself into one, for otherwise the Hermetic teachings will be as words were to you. The Three Initiates. Chapter 1. The Hermetic Philosophy. The lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding. The Kybalion. From old Egypt have come the fundamental esoteric and occult teachings, which have so strongly influenced the philosophies of all races, nations, and peoples for several thousand years. Egypt, the home of the pyramids and the Sphinx, was the birthplace of the hidden wisdom and mystic teachings. From her secret doctrine, all nations have borrowed. India, Persia, Chaldea, Media, China, Japan, Assyria, ancient Greece and Rome, and other ancient countries partook liberally at the feast of knowledge which the hierophants and masters of the land of Isis so freely provided for those who came prepared to partake of the great store of mystic and occult lore which the masterminds of that ancient land had gathered together. In ancient Egypt dwelt the great adepts and masters who have never been surpassed, and who seldom have been equaled, during the centuries that have taken their processional flight since the days of the great Hermes. In Egypt was located the great lodge of lodges of the mystics. At the doors of her temples entered the neophytes, who afterward, as hierophants, adepts, and masters, traveled to the four corners of the earth, carrying with them the precious knowledge which they were anxious and would to pass on to those who were ready to receive the same. All students of the occult recognize the debt that they owe to these masters of that ancient land. But among these great masters of ancient Egypt, there once dwelt one of whom masters hailed as the Master of Masters. This man, if man indeed he was, dwelt in Egypt in the earliest days. He was known as Hermes Trismegistus. He was the father of the occult wisdom, the founder of astrology, the discoverer of alchemy. The details of his life story are lost to history, owing to the lapse of the years, though several of the ancient countries disputed with each other in their claims to the honor of having furnished his birthplace, and this thousands of years ago. The date of his sojourn in Egypt, in that his last incarnation on this planet, is not now known, but it has been fixed at the early days of the oldest dynasties of Egypt, long before the days of Moses. The best authorities regard him as a contemporary of Abraham, and some of the Jewish traditions go so far as to claim that Abraham acquired a portion of his mystic knowledge from Hermes himself. As the years rolled by after his passing from this plane of life, tradition recording that he lived 300 years in the flesh. The Egyptians deified Hermes and made him one of their gods under the name of Thoth. Years after, the people of ancient Greece also made him one of their many gods, calling him Hermes, the god of wisdom. The Egyptians revered his memory for many centuries, yes, tens of centuries, calling him the scribe of the gods, and bestowing upon him distinctively his ancient title, Trismegistus, which means the thrice great, the great, the greatest great, etc. In all the ancient lands, the name of Hermes Trismegistus was revered, the name being synonymous with the fount of wisdom. Even to this day, we use the term hermetic in the sense of secret, sealed so that nothing can escape, etc., and this by reason of the fact that the followers of Hermes always observed the principle of secrecy in their teachings. They did not believe in casting pearls before swine, but rather held to the teaching, milk for babes, meat for strong men, both of which maxims are familiar to readers of the Christian scriptures, but both of which had been used by the Egyptians for centuries before the Christian era. And this policy of careful dissemination of the truth has always characterized the Hermetics, even unto the present day. The Hermetic teachings are to be found in all lands, among all religions, but never identified with any particular country, nor with any particular religious sect. This because of the warning of the ancient teachers against allowing the secret doctrine to become crystallized into a creed. The wisdom of this caution is apparent to all students of history. The ancient occultism of India and Persia degenerated and was largely lost, owing to the fact that the teachers became priests and so mixed theology with the philosophy, the result being that the occultism of India and Persia has been gradually lost amidst the mass of religious superstition, cults, creeds, and gods. So it was with ancient Greece and Rome. So it was with the Hermetic teachings of the Gnostics and early Christians, which were lost at the time of Constantine, whose iron hand smothered philosophy with the blanket of theology, losing to the Christian church that which was its very essence and spirit, and causing it to grope throughout several centuries, before it found the way back to its ancient faith, the indications apparent to all careful observers in this 20th century, being the church is now struggling to get back to its ancient mystic teachings. But there were always a few faithful souls who kept alive the flame, tending it carefully, and not allowing its light to become extinguished. And thanks to these staunch hearts and fearless minds, we have the truth still with us. But it is not found in books to any great extent. It has been passed along from master to student, from initiate to hierophant, from lip to ear. When it was written down at all, its meaning was veiled in terms of alchemy and astrology, so that only those possessing the key could read it aright. This was made necessary in order to avoid the persecutions of the theologians of the Middle Ages, who fought the secret doctrine with fire and sword, stake, gibbet, and cross. Even to this day there will be found but few reliable books on the Hermetic philosophy, although there are countless references to it in many books written on various phases of occultism. And yet, the Hermetic philosophy is the only master key which will open all the doors of the occult teachings. In the early days, there was a compilation of certain basic Hermetic doctrines, passed on from teacher to student, which was known as the Kybalion, the exact significance and meaning of the term having been lost for several centuries. This teaching, however, is known to many to whom it has descended, from mouth to ear, on and on throughout the centuries. Its precepts have never been written down or printed so far as we know. It was merely a collection of maxims, axioms, and precepts, which were non-understandable to outsiders, but which were readily understood by students. After the axioms, maxims, and precepts had been explained and exemplified by the Hermetic initiates to their neophytes, these teachings really constituted the basic principles of the art of Hermetic alchemy, which, contrary to the general belief, dealt in the mastery of mental forces rather than material elements, the transmutation of one kind of mental vibrations into others, instead of the changing of one kind into another. The legends of the philosopher's stone, which would turn base metal into gold, was an allegory relating to Hermetic philosophy, readily understood by all students of true Hermeticism. In this little book, of which this is the first lesson, we invite our students to examine into the Hermetic teachings as set forth in the Kybalion, and as explained by ourselves, humble students of the teachings, who, while bearing the title of initiates, are still students at the feet of Hermes, the master. We herein give you many of the maxims, axioms, and precepts of the Kybalion, accompanied by explanations and illustrations which we deem likely to render the teachings more easily comprehended by the modern student, particularly as the original text is purposely veiled in obscure terms. The original maxims, axioms, and precepts of the Kybalion are printed herein in italics, the proper credit being given. Our own work is printed in the regular way, in the body of the work. We trust that the many students to whom we now offer this little work will derive as much benefit from the study of its pages as have the many who have gone on before, treading the same path to mastery throughout the centuries that have passed since the times of Hermes Trismegistus, the master of masters, the great. In the words of the Kybalion, where fall the footsteps of the master, the ears of those ready for his teaching open wide, the Kybalion. When the ears of the student are ready to hear, then cometh the lips to fill them with wisdom, the Kybalion. So that according to teachings, the passage of this book to those ready for the instruction will attract the attention of such as are prepared to receive the teaching. And likewise, when the pupil is ready to receive the truth, then will this little book come to him or her. Such is the law. The Hermetic principle of cause and effect, in its aspect of the law of attraction, will bring lips and ear together, pupil and book in company. So mote it be. Chapter 2. The 7 Hermetic Principles. The principles of truth are 7. He who knows these understandingly possesses the magic key before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. The Kybalion. The 7 Hermetic Principles, upon which the entire Hermetic philosophy is based, are as follows. 1. The principle of mentalism. 2. The principle of correspondence. 3. The principle of vibration. 4. The principle of polarity. 5. The principle of rhythm. 6. The principle of cause and effect. 7. The principle of gender. These 7 principles will be discussed and explained as we proceed with these lessons. A short explanation of each, however, may as well be given at this point. 1. The principle of mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental. The Kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that all is mind. It explains that the all, which is the substantial reality underlying all the outward manifestations and appearances which we know under the terms of the material universe, the phenomena of life, matter, energy, and in short, all that is apparent to our material senses, is spirit which in itself is unknowable and undefinable, but which may be considered and thought of as an universal, infinite living mind. It also explains that all the phenomenal world or universe is simply a mental creation of the all, subject to the laws of created things, and that the universe, as a whole, and in its parts or units, has its existence in the mind of the all, in which mind we live and move and have our being. This principle, by establishing the mental nature of the universe, easily explains all of the varied mental and psychic phenomena that occupy such a large portion of the public attention, and which, without such explanation, are non-understandable and defy scientific treatment. An understanding of this great Hermetic principle of mentalism enables the individual to readily grasp the laws of the mental universe and to apply the same to his well-being and advancement. The Hermetic student is enabled to apply intelligently the great mental laws instead of using them in a haphazard manner. With the master key in his possession, the student may unlock the many doors of the mental and psychic temple of knowledge and enter the same freely and intelligently. This principle explains the true nature of energy, power, and matter, and why and how all these are subordinate to the mastery of mind. One of the old Hermetic masters wrote, long ages ago, "He who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery." And these words are as true today as at the time they were first written. Without this master key, mastery is impossible, and the student knocks in vain at the many doors of the temple. 2. Principle of correspondence. As above, so below, as below, so above, the Kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that there is always a correspondence between the laws and phenomena of the various planes of being and life. The old Hermetic axiom ran in these words: as above, so below, as below, so above. And the grasping of this principle gives one the means of solving many a dark paradox and hidden secret of nature. There are planes beyond our knowing, but when we apply the principle of correspondence to them, we are able to understand much that would otherwise be unknowable to us. This principle is of universal application and manifestation on the various planes of the material, mental, and spiritual universe. It is an universal law. The ancient Hermetists considered this principle as one of the most important mental instruments by which man was able to pry aside the obstacles which hid from view the unknown. Its use even tore aside the veil of Isis to the extent that a glimpse of the face of the goddess might be caught. Just as a knowledge of the principles of geometry enables man to measure distant suns and their movements while seated in his observatory, so a knowledge of the principle of correspondence enables man to reason intelligently from the known to the unknown. Studying the monad, he understands the archangel. 3. The principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The Kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that everything is in motion, everything vibrates, nothing is at rest. Facts which modern science endorses and which each new scientific discovery tends to verify. And yet this Hermetic principle was enunciated thousands of years ago by the masters of ancient Egypt. This principle explains that the differences between different manifestations of matter, energy, mind, and even spirit result largely from varying rates of vibration. From the all, which is pure spirit, down to the grossest form of matter, all is in vibration. The higher the vibration, the higher the position in the scale. The vibration of spirit is at such an infinite rate of intensity and rapidity that it is practically at rest, just as a rapidly moving wheel seems to be motionless. And at the other end of the scale, there are gross form matter whose vibrations are so low as to seem at rest. Between these poles, there are millions upon millions of varying degrees of vibration. From corpuscle and electron, atom and molecule, to worlds and universes, everything is in vibratory motion. This is also true on the planes of energy and force, which are but varying degrees of vibration, and also on the mental planes, whose states depend upon vibrations, and even onto the spiritual planes. An understanding of this principle, with the appropriate formulas, enables Hermetic students to control their own mental vibrations as well as those of others. The masters also apply this principle to the conquering of natural phenomena in various ways. He who understands the principle of vibration has grasped the scepter of power, says one of the old writers. 4. The principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. The Kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that everything is dual. Everything has two poles. Everything has its pair of opposites, all of which were old Hermetic axioms. It explains the old paradoxes that have perplexed so many, which have been stated as follows. Thesis and antithesis are identical in nature, but different in degree. Opposites are the same, differing only in degree. The pairs of opposites may be reconciled. Extremes meet. Everything is and isn't at the same time. All truths are but half-truths. Every truth is half-false. There are two sides to everything, etc., etc., etc. It explains that in everything there are two poles or opposite aspects, and that opposites are really only the two extremes of the same thing, with many varying degrees between them. To illustrate, heat and cold, although opposites, are really the same thing, the differences consisting merely of degrees of the same thing. Look at your thermometer and see if you can discover where heat terminates and cold begins. There is no such thing as absolute heat or absolute cold. The two terms heat and cold simply indicate varying degrees of the same thing, and that same thing which manifests as heat and cold is merely a form, variety, and rate of vibration. So heat and cold are simply the two poles of that which we call heat, and the phenomena attendant thereupon are manifestations of the principle of polarity. The same principle manifests in the case of light and darkness, which are the same thing, the difference consisting of varying degrees between the two poles of the phenomena. Where does darkness leave off and light begin? What is the difference between large and small? Between hard and soft? Between black and white? Between sharp and dull? Between noise and quiet? Between high and low? Between positive and negative? The principle of polarity explains these paradoxes, and no other principle can supersede it. The same principle operates on the mental plane. Let us take a radical and extreme example, that of love and hate, two mental states apparently totally different. And yet there are degrees of hate and degrees of love, and a little point in which we use the terms like or dislike, which shade into each other so gradually that sometimes we are at a loss to know whether we like or dislike, or neither. And all are simply degrees of the same thing, as you will see if you will but think a moment. And more than this, and considered of more importance by the Hermetists, it is possible to change the vibrations of hate to the vibrations of love, in one's own mind and in the minds of others. Many of you who read these lines have had personal experiences of the involuntary rapid transition from love to hate, and the reverse in your own case and that of others. And you will therefore realize the possibility of this being accomplished by the use of the will, by means of the Hermetic formulas. Good and evil are but the poles of the same thing, and the Hermetist understands the art of transmuting evil into good by means of an application of the principle of polarity.
You know I got
In
those
short,
badass
the art of polarization becomes a phase of mental alchemy, known and practiced by the ancient and modern Hermetic masters. An understanding of the principle will enable one to change his own polarity, as well as that of others, if he will devote the time and study necessary to master the art. 5. The principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. The Kybalion. This principle embodies that in everything there is manifested a measured motion to and fro, a flow and inflow, a swing backward and forward, a pendulum-like movement, a tide-like flow, a high tide and low tide, between the two poles which exist in accordance with the principle of polarity described a moment ago. There is always an action and a reaction, an advance and a retreat, a rising and a sinking. This is in the affairs of the universe, suns, worlds, men, animals, mind, energy, and matter. This law is manifest in the creation and destruction of worlds, in the rise and fall of nations, in the life of all things, and finally in the mental states of man, and it is with this latter that the Hermetists find the understanding of the principle most important. The Hermetists have grasped this principle, finding its universal application, and have also discovered certain means to overcome its effects in themselves by the use of the appropriate formulas and methods. They apply the mental law of neutralization. They cannot annul the principle or cause it to cease its operation, but they have learned how to escape its effects upon themselves to a certain degree, depending upon the mastery of the principle. They have learned how to use it instead of being used by it. In this and similar methods consists the art of the Hermetists. The master of Hermetics polarizes himself at the point which he desires to rest, and then neutralizes the rhythmic swing of the pendulum, which would tend to carry him to the other pole. All individuals who have attained any degree of self-mastery do this to a certain degree, more or less unconsciously. But the master does this consciously and by the use of his will, and attains a degree of poise and mental firmness almost impossible of belief on the part of the masses, who are swung backward and forward like a pendulum. This principle and that of polarity have closely studied by the Hermetists, and the methods of counteracting, neutralizing, and using them form an important part of the Hermetic mental alchemy. 6. The principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause.
Right.
Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized.
Consequences of circumstances.
There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. The Kybalion. This principle embodies the fact that there is a cause for every effect, an effect from every cause. It explains that everything happens according to law, that nothing ever merely happens, that there is no such thing as chance, that while there are various planes of cause and effect, the higher dominating the lanes, still nothing ever entirely escapes the law. The Hermetists understand the art and methods of rising above the ordinary plane of cause and effect to a certain degree, and by mentally rising to a higher plane, they become causers instead of effects. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves, heredity, suggestion, and other outward causes, moving them about like pawns on the chessboard of life. But the masters, rising to the plane above, dominate their moods, characters, qualities, and powers, as well as the environment surrounding them, and become movers instead of pawns. They help to play the game of life, instead of being played and moved about by other wills and environment. They use the principle instead of being its tools. The masters obey the causation of the higher planes, but they help to rule on their own plane. In this statement there is condensed a wealth of Hermetic knowledge. Let him read who can. 7. The principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. The Kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that there is gender manifested in everything, the masculine and feminine principles ever at work. This is true not only of the physical plane, but of the mental and even the spiritual planes. On the physical plane, the principle manifests as sex. On the higher planes it takes higher forms, but the principle is ever the same. No creation, physical, mental, or spiritual, is possible without this principle. An understanding of its laws will throw light on many a subject that has perplexed the minds of men. The principle of gender works ever in the direction of generation, regeneration, and creation. Everything and every person contains the two elements or principles, or this great principle within it, him or her. Every Mali thing has the female element also. Every female contains also the Mali principle. If you would understand the philosophy of mental and spiritual creation, generation, and regeneration, you must understand and study this Hermetic principle. It contains the solution of many mysteries of life. We caution you that this principle has no reference to the many base, pernicious, and degrading lust theories, teachings, and practices which are taught under fanciful titles, and which are a prostitution of the great natural principle of gender. Such base revivals of the ancient infamous forms of phallicism tend to ruin mind, body, and soul, and the Hermetic philosophy has ever sounded the warning note against these degraded teachings, which tend toward lust, licentiousness, and perversion of nature's principles. If you seek such teachings, you must go elsewhere for them. Hermeticism contains nothing for you along these lines. To the pure, all things are pure. To the base, all things are base. Chapter 3. Mental transmutation. Mind as well as metals and elements may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. True Hermetic transmutation is a mental art. The Kybalion. As we have stated, the Hermetists were the original alchemists, astrologers, and psychologists, Hermes having been the founder of these schools of thought. From astrology has grown modern astronomy. From alchemy has grown modern chemistry. From the mystic psychology has grown the modern psychology of the schools. But it must not be supposed that the ancients were ignorant of that which the modern schools suppose to be their exclusive and special property. The records engraved on the stones of ancient Egypt show conclusively that the ancients had a full comprehensive knowledge of astronomy, the very building of the pyramids showing the connection between their design and the study of astronomical science. Nor were they ignorant of chemistry, for the fragments of the ancient writings show that they were acquainted with the chemical properties of things. In fact, the ancient theories regarding physics are being verified by the latest discoveries of modern science, notably those relating to the constitution of matter. Nor must it be supposed that they were ignorant of the so-called modern discoveries in psychology. On the contrary, the Egyptians were especially skilled in the science of psychology, particularly in the branches that the modern schools ignore, but which, nevertheless, are being uncovered under the name of psychic science, which is perplexing the psychologists of today and making them reluctantly admit that there may be something in it after all. The truth is, beneath the material chemistry, astronomy, and psychology, that is, the psychology in its phase of brain action, the ancients possessed a knowledge of transcendental astronomy called astrology, of transcendental chemistry called alchemy, of transcendental psychology called mystic psychology. They possessed the inner knowledge as well as the outer knowledge, the latter alone being possessed by modern scientists. Among the many branches of knowledge possessed by the Hermetists was that known as mental transmutation, which forms the subject matter of this lesson. Transmutation is a term usually employed to designate the ancient art of the transmutation of metals, particularly of the base metals into gold. The word transmute means to change from one nature, form, or substance into another, to transform, Webster. And accordingly, mental transmutation means the art of changing and transforming mental states, forms, and conditions into others. So you may see that mental transmutation is the art of mental chemistry, if you like the term, a form of practical mystic psychology. But this means far more than appears on the surface. Transmutation, alchemy, or chemistry on the mental plane is important enough in its effects, to be sure, and if the art stopped there, it would still be one of the most important branches of study known to man. But this is only the beginning. Let us see why. The first of the 7 Hermetic principles is the principle of mentalism, the axiom of which is, the all is mind. The universe is mental, which means that the underlying reality of the universe is mind, and the universe itself is mental, that is, existing in the mind of the all. We shall consider this principle in succeeding lessons. But let us see the effect of the principle if it be assumed to be true. If the universe is mental in its nature, then mental transmutation must be the art of changing the conditions of the universe along the lines of matter, force, and mind. So you see, therefore, that mental transmutation is really the magic of which the ancient writers had so much to say in their mystical works, and about which they gave so few practical instructions. If all be mental, then the art which enables one to transmute mental conditions must render the master the controller of material conditions, as well as those ordinarily called mental. As a matter of fact, none but advanced mental alchemists have been able to attain the degree of power necessary to control the physical conditions, such as the control of the elements of nature, the production or cessation of tempests, the production and cessation of earthquakes and other great physical phenomena. But that such men have existed, and do exist today, is a matter of earnest belief to all advanced occultists of all schools. That the masters exist and have these powers, the best teachers assure their students, having had experiences which justify them in such belief and statements. These masters do not make public exhibitions of their powers, but seek seclusion from the crowds of men, in order to better work their way along the path of attainment. We mention their existence at this point merely to call your attention to the fact that their power is entirely mental and operates along the lines of the higher mental transmutation under the Hermetic principle of mentalism. The universe is mental, the Kybalion. But students and Hermetists of lesser degree, masters, the initiates and teachers, are able to freely work along the mental plane in mental transmutation. In fact, all that we call psychic phenomena, mental influence, mental science, new thought phenomena, etc., operates along the same general lines, for there is but one principle involved, no matter by what name the phenomena be called. The student and practitioner of mental transmutation works among the mental plane, transmuting mental conditions, states, etc., into others, according to various formulas, more or less efficacious. The various treatments, affirmations, denials, etc., of the schools of mental science are but formulas, often quite imperfect and unscientific, of the Hermetic art. The majority of modern practitioners are quite ignorant compared to the ancient masters, for they lack the fundamental knowledge upon which the work is based. Not only may the mental states, etc., of oneself be changed or transmuted by hermetic methods, but also the states of others may be and are constantly transmuted in the same way, usually unconsciously, but often consciously by some understanding the laws and principles, in cases where the people affected are not informed of the principles of self-protection. And more than this, as many students and practitioners of modern mental science know, every material condition depending upon the minds of other people may be changed or transmuted in accordance with the earnest desire, will, and treatments of person desiring changed conditions of life. The public are so generally informed regarding these things at present that we do not deem it necessary to mention the same at length, our purpose at this point being merely to show the hermetic principle and art underlying all of these various forms of practice, good and evil, for the force can be used in opposite directions according to the hermetic principles of polarity. In this little book we shall state the basic principles of mental transmutation, that all who read may grasp the underlying principles, and thus possess the master key that will unlock the many doors of the principle of polarity. We shall now proceed to a consideration of the first of the Hermetic 7 principles, the principle of mentalism, in which is explained the truth that the all is mind, the universe is mental, in the words of the Kybalion. We ask the close attention and careful study of this great principle on the part of our students, for it is really the basic principle of the whole Hermetic philosophy and of the Hermetic art of mental transmutation. Chapter 4. The All. Under and back of the universe of time, space, and change is ever to be found the substantial reality, the fundamental truth. The Kybalion. Substance means that which underlies all outward manifestations, the essence, the essential reality, the thing in itself, etc. Substantial means actually existing, being the essential element, being real, etc. Reality means the state of being real, true, enduring, valid, fixed, permanent, actual, etc. Under and behind all outward appearances or manifestations, there must always be a substantial reality. This is the law. Man, considering the universe, of which he is a unit, sees nothing but change in matter, forces, and mental states. He sees that nothing really is, but that everything is becoming and changing. Nothing stands still, everything is being born, growing, dying. The very instant a thing reaches its height, it begins to decline. The law of rhythm is in constant operation. There is no reality, enduring quality, fixity, or substantiality in anything. Nothing is permanent, but change. He sees all things evolving from other things, and evolving into other things, constant action and reaction, inflow and outflow, building up and tearing down, creation and destruction, birth, growth, and death. Nothing endures but change. And if he be a thinking man, he realizes that all of these changing things must be but outward appearances or manifestations of some underlying power, some substantial reality. All thinkers, in all lands and in all times, have assumed the necessity for postulating the existence of this substantial reality. All philosophies worthy of the name have been based upon this thought. Men have given to this substantial reality many names. Some have called it by the term of deity, under many titles. Others have called it the infinite and eternal energy. Others have tried to call it matter, but all have acknowledged its existence. It is self-evident, it needs no argument. In these lessons we have followed the example of some of the world's greatest thinkers, both ancient and modern, the Hermetic masters, and have called this underlying power, this substantial reality, by the Hermetic name of the All, which term we consider the most comprehensive of the many terms applied by man to that which transcends names and terms. We accept and teach the view of the great Hermetic thinkers of all times, as well as of those illumined souls who have reached higher planes of being, both of whom assert that the inner nature of the All is unknowable. This must be so, for naught by the All itself can comprehend its own nature and being. The Hermetists believe and teach that the All, in itself, is and must ever be unknowable. They regard all the theories, guesses, and speculations of the theologians and metaphysicians regarding the inner nature of the All as but the childish efforts of mortal minds to grasp the secret of the infinite. Such efforts have always failed and will always fail, from the very nature of the task. One pursuing such inquiries travels around and around in the labyrinth of thought until he is lost to all sane reasoning, action, or conduct, and is utterly unfitted for the work of life. He is like the squirrel which frantically runs around and around the circling treadmill wheel of his cage, traveling ever and yet reaching nowhere, at the end a prisoner still, and standing just where he started. And still more presumptuous are those who attempt to ascribe to the
Archangel Michael, work on your
Eleven, 11.
Today being the weekend of April 8th and 9th, 2023, and the message is ready for the whole collective. Let's have a look and see what are the most important factors for us all to know for this weekend. We'll start with the first card, which is creative project. Beautiful. It's about a creative project, something that you will be doing that is going to be connecting your soul to creative ways of looking at things, creative way of enhancing or infusing artistry in your life. Infusing artistry into your life is the main one, actually. Creative expression is also what makes you feel alive and excited. For those of you who are about to start something that is going to feel excited and happy, I feel like passion it's going to entice your passion towards life, and we'll see what else. Creative passion is all about. And so we'll have a look at the sacred forest for the weekend of 8-9 April to see what the message is. And it says grace. You are in grace. You are protected. You are watched over. You are cared for. You are nurtured. The wise woman of the forest or the grove is all about grace. It's about luck and abundance coming your way, overcoming obstacles, and being very much protected and in grace. Grace means being protected by your guiding angels, and they're watching over you. Let's have a look at two messages. Okay, we've got the first one. Wow, the golden ring. This tells me many of you are getting proposed to this weekend, possibly, or talked about. Engagements, uplifting your relationships, partnerships. It's also about partnerships. It's about financial commitment. It's about spiritual commitment. It's about long-term commitment. It's about long-term investment. The golden rings are magnificent, and they're going to impact everybody on a different level. What else for this weekend? And we have the golden butterflies. And the golden butterflies are incredible transformations that are taking place, and it is also about a sudden change that is going to be perhaps the cause of you spending a lot of money. It could be a proposal for, and then you're out there chasing and buying all kinds of stuff because you're so excited. It could be a loan being approved and you're out there spending. It's a sudden change that brings on excessive spending. It is also about short and long term, either way. Loans, for some of you who are considering taking loans. This is movement, this is change, this is about incredible change. This is about jobs that are fun and changing from a boring job to a fun job. This is also about changing your career, perhaps, and making it stable, more lasting. Let's have a look at your guardian angels and see what they want to tell you. A message for this weekend for everybody. And then I will do the tarot. Here we go. It says, ask for help from others. Ask for help from others. You are going to be receiving it without a doubt, okay? because you are in grace and nothing will stand in your way. Let's have a look at 4 major impacts that are impacting everybody for this weekend. Oh, and there's the card. One of them just fell. We have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is someone very serviceable, very supportive, very caring, and down to earth. Someone of earth energy, perhaps Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Someone that is going to come up with an idea or propose something wonderful. And then we have Temperance. I'll clarify the card to understand exactly what everything is. Temperance is about being a little bit patient and waiting for the universe, your guardian angels working behind the scene to bring you abundance, to bring you balance, to bring you happiness, and most of all, to help you move to the next level. What else? Let's see. 2 more cards for the collective for the weekend of 8th and 9th. 1 challenge to go, and you reach to the end, and that's when all the abundance pours in, all the rewards pour in. But there's only 1 challenge. You have been going through a lot. This last challenge is going to be a bit hard, but you are going to be able to overcome it, and then it puts an end to a suffocating period in your life, or a sector of your life that's very suffocating comes to an absolute ending. So 1 more challenge to go, and there's only 1 correct way to go about it, 1 correct answer. So there is something you've been trying to avoid, to come to terms with. Perhaps it's very difficult, but there is only 1 correct choice and 1 correct. And so I'm going to clarify all this to see what's it all about. There is a proposal. You see what you don't see coming, a proposal. And there is, I'll take 3 cards here, and this one too, and this one. Oh, wow, too many. Okay. But it's all part of what you don't see coming. What you don't see coming is, first and foremost, we've got a proposal. And with this proposal, of course, goes alongside with the golden rings. And it goes on the side where Temperance is saying, just be patient, things are going to get better. You are destined for a beautiful life. It is connected perhaps to those of you who are either earth energy or dealing with earth energy, or earth energy very strong here. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, we've got earth energy again here. So the proposal could be coming from an earth energy. That is a very strong possibility. Now, the other thing is, there is financial, somebody very quite wealthy, quite comfortable financially. So a proposal from someone quite wealthy. Okay, then we've got, there is another person involved. There's water energy here. Water energy very strong, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Someone very caring, considerate, and could be part of this person. This person could be earth and water energy combined that is doing the proposal. That could be a very strong possibility. Or it could be that 2 water signs are uniting, or 2 earth signs are uniting, or it could be a water and earth uniting together. Now, the union is about many things. One of these could be collaboration to start a family, to start a new life. Could be collaboration to start a new business, putting your hands together with somebody and building something of profit, and incredible profits come from the 3 of Pentacles. That could be one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is that you have the 9 of Pentacles here. So whatever is happening here, whatever proposal is coming, could be coming for you to financially uplift you to the next level. So that could be also, the proposal could be to do with money, because I see financial wealth, financial comfort, and the transformations are going to be spectacular. This proposal could change a lot of things in your life, and take you to levels beyond where you are today, and help you financially, also stabilize you financially, and give you the life of luxury and happiness and leisure. That also is possible. So the transformations that are coming are going to be spectacular. Okay, so that's what's all this is saying. Now what we're going to do is go through and clarify everything. Let's have a look at clarifications of the Page of Pentacles to see who this person is for everybody. Okay, yes, there could be a commitment coming from this person. This person is going to uplift you, support you to the next level. Perhaps when you're asking for help, you are getting help from someone wonderful that is going to uplift you to the next level. I also feel like this person is going to help you in an area of your life where you're feeling defeated. But there is commitment. There is, the Hierophant is about commitment. Many of you are literally going to get a proposal of engagement. That's what I feel like. A relationship is escalating to levels beyond where it is because of the proposal and because of the golden rings. This could be a marriage proposal, and the Hierophant is about, commitment and marriage and, rising beyond where you are today. So we've got that. The other factor is that in an area of your life where you're feeling defeated, this comes along, and this person is going to support you, uplift you to the next level by introducing you to different ways or different means of uplifting your spirit, showing you the way, moving you to the next level by different ideas they come up with. Now, the Hierophant is about commitment. It's about rising beyond where you are, healing in areas of your life, reaching levels, joining into institutions and situations where they will uplift you. But there is someone new coming in your life, and this perhaps this earth energy is going to be the cause of this person coming in, what you don't see, and is going to be the cause of taking you to the next level, where there is someone new coming into your life. Fire energy very strong, could be Leo. We got the Leo card here, the strength. Leo, Sagittarius or Aries, this person is going to give you justice, and there's that water energy again. Wow, I can't take them all because we need them. But what you don't see coming from this, there is going to be justice. There is going to be strength. You are going to be given the strength to surpass this area of your life where you are feeling defeated and not able to move on from it. Justice is going to prevail, and it's going to be in your favor. And I feel like all this is happening for someone of earth energy or because of an earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Somebody new is coming in your life. If you are earth, I feel fire is coming. Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. If you're earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, you're going to be empowered, and I feel justice is going to be in your favor. So that is wonderful. Let's have a look at Temperance for everybody and see what Temperance is trying to tell us. Okay, to be patient for what? What is it bringing into our life? Balance. Oh, wow. In an area where you feel abandoned, in an area you feel like a situation has come to an end, there's news, there is healing to tell you to go ahead, to move forward from being sad and being not happy. There's good news that's going to release you. Where you're feeling abandoned or unhappy, there is going to be, the Three of Pentacles has come up twice. There is going to be someone new that you are putting your hands together, uniting. You are going to work well together. The transformation is going to be spectacular. I feel like you are going to have family with this person. This could be a person that you might be transcending together with, committing to go further with. This could be to do with a proposal, very easily to be with a proposal, a relationship that will transcend to a higher level. I also feel you are destined for a very happy life and a life of abundance, and that's also the Three of Pentacles doubling up could contribute to that. Why I'm saying that is because the Three of Pentacles can be starting a family and uniting. It can be that, but it can also be bringing transformations on and starting, uniting with somebody, or uniting with two people, starting a business. This business is going to be doing exceptionally well with the Three of Pentacles. A lot of profits are going to be pouring in, and you are able to have the life of luxury that you truly, truly deserve. So that is also a great possibility. The Nine of Pentacles is wishes and dreams and a life of abundance and wealth and happiness. So that could be destined due to the transformations that are taking place, sudden changes that bring on perhaps some sort of union to work on a business deal together, or some idea that is you're collaborating with others and it's going to boom, a lot of profits to bring you this abundant life. So that is also a very strong possibility. Remember, you are in grace, you are protected, and you are destined for so much. So this was also in regard to this, those of you who are feeling abandoned and unhappy, something quickly is going to take place and bring you the justice that you truly deserve. Let's have a look at the Nine of Wands. One more challenge, and this challenge is waiting for some help. Money, number one, and inspiration. You are getting it both. This could be in regard to something that's falling apart, something that's controlling and not working well, but it's ultimately destined to be okay. What you don't see coming is that things are going to improve for you big time, and you are going to have what you truly deserve, accomplishing a lot of your wishes and having some victories. Right after leaving a situation that's very controlling, a situation that has no foundation and no more to go, no more progress. So it's coming to an end, even though it might be complicated, but it is the last straw, the last challenge. You are going to be having a lot of money come to you. You are going to be empowered financially big time, and I feel like there is someone that's going to be helping you, uplifting you with an idea, or somehow to take you to the next level. So, and support you with this to pass this challenge. I do feel like the transformations that are taking place are going to uplift you financially to a much better place. You are going to be doing exceptionally well. And I feel like this could be also in regard to that creative project that the universe was talking about. That is a possibility. A creative project might take you to a level where you can be making a lot of money and living the life of luxury and having that kind of, what's the word? The Six of Pentacles, wealth, being able to move freely, and the Nine of Pentacles, having the dream life of wealth and leisure. It could be due to a creative project that you might come up with that you want to do. Why I say that is because of these cards here. When we have, as you can see, the Three of Pentacles, both of them together tells me that you are destined for something wonderful. It looks like it could be a project that you're putting together and you're working with others, with team, and you are making a lot of money, a lot of profits with the Three of Pentacles. And then, of course, having so much money to do so much that you can help others that are less fortunate. That's one way of looking at it. Having your dreams being established is another one, with a creative project that you are working together in team. Another factor is that finally reaching to the level where you can have a life of leisure by doing your own business, working with others, making a lot of profits on a creative project that was your idea perhaps, and it's getting bigger and bigger and reaching to levels where you can have a lot of happiness. So asking for help, uniting with people together, there is so much going on here. Now, let's have a look at, and don't forget the proposal. The proposal has a lot to do with this Three of Pentacles and the union. I really feel like there's a lot connecting people together, connecting you with others. But ultimately, the controlling situation and the situation that you had no control over is over, and justice is going to be in your favor. Let's have a look at this very complicated decision, the Seven of Swords. This decision is part of destiny. This decision is to do with this last and final challenge. We're talking about the Nine of Wands here. Now we're talking about the Seven of Swords, needing to make one correct choice. And what seems like to me, in order to end this matter, in order to reach to the end of this, to reach to absolute absolution of this karmic chapter that's been overwhelming you, this one more challenge, the Nine of Wands, to finally free yourself from something that's been suffocating you, destiny has to intervene. Destiny will intervene. It has to, and it will. It's intervening because it's not easy, and you are in grace, you are protected, you are taken care of. Temperance and protection, grace are there. So they are going to support you, even though you feel overwhelmed. Maybe you can't do it anymore. It's too hard. This last challenge, you are going to be supported. And what you need to know in regard to this challenge, you are going to have your victory. So remember that. That's very important for those of you who are going through suffering. You are destined to have your victory. Destiny is going to come through for you. The victory, the chariot, is about victory. Destiny is going to be the next cycle in your life that's opening up after this ending, and you are going to have all the rewards that you deserve. Extreme luck and abundance coming your way. Remember that. Now, after this is the most amazing part. Once you do reach this challenge and you overcome this challenge, then you are destined for incredible victory, abundance, victory, you name it. So whatever transformations are taking place, you are going to be loving them. Actually, I'll put this here, and I'll put the destiny, because the destiny is the one that controls everything. It's going to be controlling your life. It's going to be taking you to the next level. The transformations that are sudden, the golden butterfly, sudden transformations that are going to uplift you, uplifting you to the next level. You are destined for a grand prize. You are destined for the greatest gift of all. That's what I call the Ace of Cups, or the greatest love of all. The greatest victory is there for you. And with the Wheel of Fortune, you can't go wrong. The Wheel of Fortune just shows that you are going to be abundantly taken care of in a big way. Again, abundantly taken care of in a big way by your guardian angels. That's why they're saying have patience. Have patience. We are going to give it all to you. You are going to have the greatest gift of all, and that is going to emotionally fulfill many areas of your life. You are going to have the greatest victory, and you are destined for an incredible amazing life. So destiny is not only giving you a victory, but it's also giving you this incredible life that you are destined to have, where you will have all your wishes and dreams and the lifestyle that you come to you. You'll have it all, home and all, love and all, abundance and all, because you've got abundance there also. Don't forget, you are destined to have this life. Not only the Four of Wands, you're also destined for this life, you see? And the greatest gift of all can give you an amazing life. The destiny is there, and it's filled with so much to give you, and many areas of your life will be thriving and flourishing, because destiny is extreme luck and abundance in many areas. So, my dear viewers, it's showing us every day on a different scale, different levels of how incredible everything is going to be for you. You are destined to have a life of happiness, without a doubt. A lot is coming for you. A lot is coming to uplift you. They're just telling you to be a little bit patient with temperance here. You are in grace. You are going to be protected. There's so much good coming. All these problems that you are facing because of things coming to an end are happening in favor of you, so that you can be that was in the reading yesterday, to be transcended to a better level. Let's see what the message is for today, for this weekend, for the whole collective. What is one message that will touch everybody's heart? And there it is. It says sacred union. You are destined for a sacred union. That's why we've got the golden rings here. A sacred union. Honor and treasure your relationship, for it is sacred. You are destined to be with someone incredible. You are destined for a lot of happiness. You are destined for an incredible life with someone. You see that? This is part of your destiny. And this sacred union you are going to have with someone, it is going to be sacred. It is going to be spectacular. You are destined for that. I feel like this person is going to be someone that's quite fair and just, and I feel like that you are going to feel blessed when you are with this person. For some reason, I feel like they are going to make your dreams and wishes come true. So that is magnificent. Okay, now I'll just see what your guardian angels need to say about anything else. So we got one card and then the other one. Okay, so it says here you are. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So romance is coming. Stay faithful. You are destined to be happy, as you can see here. So stay focused, stay faithful, be optimistic, because you are destined for a lot of happiness. Okay, so that's that one. And then the other one, it says engagement. And that's what this is all about. Proposal, engagement. To have that beautiful life. Here we go. It says engagement. Sacred union is about engagement. I'll just hold it properly like this. Here we go. Engagement. Many of you will be sealing the deal, a proposal you can't say no to. This is going to be someone that is destined for you, that is going to really want to spend the rest of their life with you. Your relationships are going to escalate to the next level. That's why we got the golden rings. And that's why the universe says it's a sacred union. Honor and treasure your relationship, for it is sacred. That means it is ordained, it is destined. It could be someone from your past lives that you are destined to spend the rest of your life with. So it's happening because we've got the butterflies here, the golden ones. It is going to happen maybe all of a sudden. You're going to be shocked. Maybe you didn't expect it this weekend, or you didn't expect it at this time. It is going to be quite interesting. So that is incredible. The best news there. Very nice news. Okay, now that we established all this, let's have a look at the two messages from the and that's the first one, the Chinese cookies. One more for this weekend. Oh, 3. That's all I need, 3 of them. Now, I'm trying my best to minimize the reading so that they're not too long. Opportunities. An important offer will be made. Offer, opportunity. It could be a proposal. It could be an engagement. That could be it. It is very, very, very possible. So, an important offer will be made. Be prepared and dress to impress. It could be an offer of business. It could be an offer of marriage. It's very, very commitment. There we go. See, we've got the Hierophant. We've got the Hierophant and we've got the rings. Everything is ready, and we've got the engagement. So as you can see, it's all there. And it says commitment. So the Hierophant is about commitment. The golden rings are about wedding. And it says a commitment is indicated around love, all this. It will make you feel better. So you are going to feel wonderful in regard to either a proposal, marriage, commitment, or it's going to be to do with business. That is also possible because there's a lot of money coming. So it could be also with business that's going to be, because we've got the Three of Pentacles, and this is to do with business. So it could be in regard to business. That is a possibility. Now, finally, it says, care required, guard yourself against deception, and be careful of making foolish mistakes at this time. So be very careful, and don't make any mistakes that could be causing any problems. But dress to impress when the opportunity knocks, and be prepared for a lot of happiness. This weekend's going to be spectacular. I can't wait to hear. And you are destined for the happy ever after. Remember, this is the greatest gift of all. And you are destined to have that beautiful life of love and happiness and money and everything. I wish you abundance of joy and happiness, a lot of blessings, and happy birthdays to those of you celebrating April 8th and 9th and 2023. Happy birthday to all of you. Have a glorious day. Happy anniversaries for those of you celebrating anniversaries and any celebrations. And all my dear viewers, each and every one of you, I wish you abundance of happiness each and every day, this weekend included, and always, with all my blessings to all of you. Namaste. Hello, my dear viewers. Welcome to this coffee cup reading for the whole collective, for everyone. This is for this weekend coming weekend of April 8th and 9th, 2023. And let us begin by looking at your coffee cup. I've seen that it's spectacular and there's so much going on. Where shall I start? Let me just start by showing it to you. What a beautiful giraffe here. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. There's so much happening here. A great connection. Okay, I'll go slow. And this is not a giraffe. It looks like the head of a giraffe, but it's a beautiful peacock. An amazing giant peacock, which represents many things. First and foremost, that you are going to be rising and shining and being recognized for something incredible, like a reward or an acclaim or something magnificent of that kind. I feel like your life is going to transform, and you know, you're radiating all over with this gorgeous peacock. That's the head and that's the whole body. Magnificent. It's got two sides to it. Like you're standing at the beginning of something incredible, but not one, but two. Two major incredible matters are governed by this peacock, one of which is the beginning of a great journey into love. For those of you who've already got love, your love is just going to get better and better. I feel like you'll start taking care of yourself in a better way. You're embracing love. You're residing love. You're embracing and you're thinking of love. You're radiating love. You're becoming a beacon of love, which is amazing. This involves becoming a magnet for love also, light and well-being. There's a great gift here for you from the universe. A wonderful gift. Okay, I just got to drink some water. I just started, but I feel like I need it. Yes, as I was saying, my dear viewers, the two major matters that are here, divided by this peacock, is the greatest journey of love. Yes, be ready for that. It's going to be a fantastic journey. But the other one is, and with this emotion, this love, the greatest love, there's a lot of emotional fulfillment and promise. Someone is promising you something. I feel like focus is needed so that you can exactly get what you want and the way you want it. But there's also another wish being granted, not one but maybe 2, 3 wishes being granted by this gorgeous peacock, showing that a lot of goal be achieved, a lot of emotional peace, happiness, and money. Talking about money, I'm seeing that there is a deepest desire that will first is going to be granted, second is going to be resolving a problem, and it could be a money problem. It could be money, material, possession, something like that. Possessions being attained, rewards, money, success. So this peacock that has divided into two magnificent sections has also becomes a beautiful butterfly, and that shows the transformations are going to be enormous and the magnitude is going to overwhelm you. There is a very sensual relationship happening here. There's going to be a lot of satisfaction in this sensual relationship at the same time, and that's from that love grows. Not only love is growing, but I'm also seeing a wedding ring, 2 wedding rings with 2 ribbons attached to them. How beautiful. 2 wedding rings. That's gorgeous. This is a union, this is marriage, this is soul, this is the everlasting promise that I was seeing, and now it seals, it shows that it's going to reach to something spectacular, to a beautiful future life. There's a lot of happiness. Some of you take comfort in this situation, and some of you take the past, something from the past. You're letting go of something bad and you're starting something fresh, but I also see that you're remembering the good ones. I feel like something from the past is taking place and it's making everything become more. There is something now, talking about the past, this was so big, this area. Go on for ages with that, just the stuff that's just the enormity of everything here. There's a beautiful, a gorgeous, which is this year, the year of the rabbit. A beautiful, I don't know whether you can see the bunny, the head, this is the body, a beautiful bunny. Yes, you can see it. I can see that. I can see it very close. Do you see this bunny right under the peacock? It represents this year is going to be one that's going to bring you abundance. A new tree is starting. Inheritance here. There is money coming. A large sum of money is coming that you are going to be very possessive over. Could be an inheritance. There's selfishness here. There's this money, control issues, resistance to change. Some people around you want the change, and this is affecting your judgment, really. So I feel there's money, a big amount of money for you to sign documents and seal documents, and like agreements are reached, but you are of this money and it's coming. There could be 2 sections. This money is coming down. It's a stream of money, but it is a large sum of money that is life-changing, where so big. You're surrendering, you're letting go of something. You're surrendering the old stuff. You could be buying a new house, a new place, a new something new. You're letting go, and everything will be working out as soon as you let go of this matter that was like something that was holding you, I would say. So it's just being let go of. You're feeling more spontaneous, more adventurous now. After this money comes, all the restrictions are removed. You are free to do what you want, and you are exploring. You're exploring big time. You're looking at what to do, how to plan, what is the best course of action, and just looking at different ideas. Now, here I'm seeing also there is a new page. Some of you are starting a new page. This to do with a contract again. Learning. Some of you are thinking of learning. I see books here, learning. I see paperwork, documentation. I also see a big fish, but I also see a beautiful book that's sort of being written. There's a beautiful pen and writing, but it's not. It's just the metaphorical part of writing. It should be. It could be a new story. It could be that your story being published. There is something like that, but there is something that is going to be really booming in a big way. There's a beautiful eagle overlooking at everything. This is the sign of freedom. This is the sign of opportunity also. Opportunity for freedom. Cautiousness is needed here. Okay, so I see a crow also. There's caution needed, tact needed in order to accomplish this final deal that you're doing, this contract or sealing any kind of deal. You could be dealing with someone a bit opinionated, someone sort of like changeable minded to some degree, dealing with someone a bit narrow-minded that has an unforgiving attitude towards towards others, let's say. I don't know towards who. Yeah, this is someone very self-centered in a way. They are materialistic to the point where they're suspicious of everything and everyone. This person, I don't know what's wrong with it. This person that is in your life that you need to Perhaps some of you need to forgive this person. They have the wrong thing by you. This will be needed at one stage or I feel like there's a situation that could be together with this person. It'll be an opportunity to heal past or from something that has happened, releasing negative matters, letting go. Perhaps this person is finally letting go of something that was that sort of might have been, that could have been partially. I see a beautiful rabbit again here. Luck is going to be on your side big time. The divine's with you, the universe, your guardian angel over you. They want to release unforgiving thoughts about someone. It could be about that person or that woman. It looked like a woman. It could be just a person. Gender is always an issue with these matters. There's a web, a spider web here. Spider web is wonderful. It means that there is something taking place, taking form, where there's going to be a lot of luck and abundance. The spider web and the within it show that there is a change coming. It's like the wheel of fortune in the coffee cup. It's about coming in. It's about destiny and fate and, you know, the web of life. And the spider is about a large amount of money that will bring growth and extreme change in your life. Wow, I love that. A new beginning. That's bringing on two new matters in your life. Could be two people or two situations. Two new matters taking place in the year of the cat this year, the year of the rabbit. But there is an amazing promise for an incredible future ahead. So things are going to be taken by, like, there's going to be control of your life in a big way. I see a beautiful harp and I see a beautiful angel, two angels. Love, adoration, deserving of love, all that is there. And I also see someone that you might be considering or dating. There's two people going out on a date or meeting someone new or dating someone new. Some of you are going back out there dating. It's a bridge across, like it shows to me that some of you will start dating, but some of you are planning after some dates, planning to go on a honeymoon together or like on a not a honeymoon, but rather some of you are planning their honeymoon, let's put it that way. Some of you could be planning their honeymoon, but I feel like it's a romantic trip, a very romantic trip where two people are embracing and there's an angel around them. So this is divinely guided, and I feel like there's going to be the welcoming of love. My dear viewers, as I was saying, there is this getting together with someone and doing something spectacular, romantic, and perhaps, you know, there's a perfect union here, and it shows to me like, okay, this, because this is for the whole collective. There's a few things happening here. First and foremost, I do see a romantic away, sort of. Some people are getting away. Fathers, I see like, you know, you're opening your heart to the one, you're meeting the one, and you want to go away with them, or you're planning to get married, or you're planning a honeymoon. There is also that, but I'm seeing a heart and two people embracing, and I'm seeing a lot of love and transformations, like planning to go to different places. The bridge represents you know, movement, and I also feel like there's compassion here, you know, to see things from a fresh perspective. Maybe some of you were sort of like not talking, and now you're reconciled and you're thinking of doing something spectacular. There's a lot of healing going on also. I'm seeing butterflies all over this situation, and from these butterflies I'm seeing that you need to have faith. You're rising beyond where you are now, but you have to trust and have faith in a situation that's going to give you a rise. So I feel like there is something completion. There's something you're completing, a major chapter, and then a new chapter begins. It's going to be magnificent. What is it I'm trying to just work out? Bear with me. This is an amazing. There's something here about someone very loving, caring. There's financial relief connected to this someone loving and caring. Someone is going to be supporting you big time and saving you a lot of money. I feel like someone is going to save you big money, or someone that's going to be very caring and very supportive. Financially helping you, money. and you're being very contented with this help. You're sort of accepting it with open arms, which is amazing. And I see at this time, you are receiving a lot of spiritual messages. There's a beautiful rose here, a rose. Angels. I feel like there's a lot of messages from angels all around you, and I feel like the communications, you need to listen. It's like they're speaking to you. There's someone from another room, from another place, someone perhaps from the past, someone that's passed on. It's like they want to send you some messages. They want you to be intuitive to receive them. It's like you wish that you wish for more. Maybe you're hearing already something, and it's just not enough. There's something that they need off their chest. Something needs to be said, something needs to be expressed. But the rose is connected to this situation. The rose is a beautiful rose, but it's on the side. It shows us something that should have been yours has been not taken from you, but you haven't had access to it. You haven't had it, but you should have had it. It's yours. Somebody wants to pass this message along. This is really amazing what I'm seeing here. Success and freedom is part of this, but so is material comfort. I see security, protection, but there is someone very nurturing. This person, it could be your guardian angel, it could be someone that's passed on, it could be someone that's watching over you. Wealth is part of this. It could be separating you. Wealth could be separating you from a certain something. You've got to be very careful not let wealth separate you from something that that you used to believe in. Maybe after being wealthy you might stop believing. It's bizarre what I'm seeing here. It just shows you are going to be involved in a very large amount.
Oh, how long say it then?
Creating your path of ascension. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. You are discovering the path that works best for you. You are not discovering the one true path that you are then meant to shout about from the rooftops so that everyone else can enjoy that same certainty that you have about your path. You are not here on earth now to walk the path of someone else either. You are creating the path as you go, and that is as it is supposed to be, because you are doing something that is unprecedented. You are shifting from the third dimension to the fifth dimension on a planet that is doing the exact same thing. You are also part of a universal shift, which means that we are all shifting together. We often tell you about how we are examining this, discovering that, and exploring something else because we are also making this up as we go, and we are ninth dimensional. If this was a paint-by-numbers sort of situation, it would be less exciting. It would bring less experience to source, and therefore, it would be somewhat pointless. But because we are all making this up as we go, it is fun, and it is new, and it is definitely worth the journey of discovery that we are all on together. We make suggestions to you, but we are not dealing in absolutes here. We want you to go out there and discover what it is that you want to experience, and then we want to see you create that experience as a part of your own journey of ascension. And of course, we want to be a part of it as much as we can, but ultimately, you are all in the driver's seat. You are the rock stars of this universal ascension journey, and we are also impressed and thrilled by the progress that we see in humanity. So please respect yourselves enough to know that you have everything that you need within you to create the path that will give you the best possible experience of this ascension journey. The Council, the all-powerful soul/God. How exactly it is possible to make an all-powerful soul/God forget their true nature/memories while getting them embedded in time/space/physicality? Dear friend, you are allowing yourself to consider the self that you are experiencing to be the entire self that you are. We will go back to the point where you created you in order to have this experience. Please suspend, if just temporarily, your doubts, and allow your imagination to follow this. Even if you can merely accept the possibility, it will clear up many seemingly unanswerable questions for you. For the readers, in this message, when we use you, we mean your entire divine self. And when we use you, we mean the part of that you now interpret as the whole. As an aside, this does not apply to a growing number of you who have expanded into a wider understanding. Now at some point, the you of which you are a part began to assemble aspects of himself/herself that seemed to best be able to handle a needed experience of learning, or teaching, or service, or any mixture of the three. Having accrued a great many lifetime experiences to choose from, the you has a vast number of attributes from which to choose. Now these are aspects that you would have complete access to if you had expanded your consciousness to accept that you are, in reality, you. Why? Because they are your experiences. But I want to know them, you say. Well, maybe that is so, but the vast majority have no real relevance to your current life. If they did, you would have sent them here with you. And your current self has quite enough to deal with. Thank you very much. And there, my friends, is the answer to your question. You have not forgotten anything, but you have done yourself the favor of only giving you what you need at this time. Yes, you may object, but you very likely haven't expanded enough yet to see around all of the corners and over all of the hills. You, however, can and does. And when you truly have a need, it will be met, usually in a far better way than you can imagine. So, can we offer some advice? First, accept that your divine you exists. Accept that you are not separate from you. Know that you are a part of you. Know that you have only the deepest love and greatest intentions for you. You have no reason to cause you suffering, but you will do whatever may be done to keep you on the path chosen. There are others, you call them guides, that have similar purposes. Can you trust? Can you accept? Can you know? Ponder these things. It is even acceptable to try them on. See if things change when you live with them for a bit. Talk with us. You talk. We hear. See the answers. As you learn to see them, they will seem to multiply. The fact is, they are there already, but your sensing of them will increase. This is a much greater topic than the space we have given it today. But we trust a beginning has been made. Dear ones, triumph is your word of the day, week, and month, for you have moved through much to achieve what no one, including you, believed possible in one earth lifetime. So it is you are waving goodbye to what was an opening your heart and yes, soul to new you. Many of you will protest that you feel no different from what you felt last week or last month, as you ignore your need to proclaim your freedom from the thoughts and actions of others. For you cannot yet distinguish you are that different, even though those around you are amazed at your daring words and actions. Perhaps an apt analogy would be your transition into a young 3D teen. Throughout that process, you were likely a bit testy, demanding your freedom one minute and needing to curl up in your mother's lap the next. That early teen transition was filled with ups and downs emotionally and physically. So it is now. One moment you are declaring your freedom to be, and the next you are wondering why you said or did what you did. Even though for many it is a confusing time both emotionally and physically, the result, as was true in your 3D life, is a maturity you are just beginning to realize. So it is you feel as if you have no stability in your being or your words and actions. You feel as if you are a cat on a hot tin roof, said with humor, for you are neither of the old or completely of the new. Of course, such is to be expected, but since you are the first to evolve through the new you opening into love, you believe you are somehow.
Hi everyone and welcome back. This is Sky. I'm coming on to talk to you about the transit of Mars in Cancer happening from March 25th, 2023 until May 19th, 2023. So just about a month and 3-week transit, more or less, coming in. And I wanted to come on and make just a brief and tranquil video about Mars and Cancer. I thought that we needed to talk just a little bit about Mars, as we had a very long, I believe like 7.5 month transit of Mars in Gemini with retrogrades over the last half of 2022 and beginning of 2023. And we have really firmly come out of that now. And let's talk about some of the ideas, concepts, and symbols around Mars, how I feel that Mars energy is expressing right now at the individual and collective level, and just enjoy some time thinking about moving ahead in our own lives, as I feel that the sacred masculine energy that Mars represents in astrology is very key and pivotal in the I guess, question of whether or not we feel well or feel like we are efficient and effective at this time in the greater astrological picture, because we've had such a very important time of working with the divine feminine. And of course, we're always working with both sides of this spiritual question. But of course, as we had the Mars retrograde in Gemini, we had a lot of questions coming up about how we're communicating ourselves, how we're directly moving in our lives, how we are basically using our communicative ability to move forward. And now that we have Mars moving into Cancer, things are getting a little bit more subtle and things are getting a little bit more emotional. Okay, so the sort of chaotic and somewhat immature and obnoxious energy that Mars was expressing itself through over the end of 2022 and beginning of 2023 will now end. And yes, things will get a little bit more passive and a little bit more emotional, and we will start to see the previous way that we were directly asserting ourselves, and some of the very obvious ways that we were moving forward in our lives will start to become a little bit more poetic, perhaps, and start to also become more sort of beneath the surface. So Mars is debilitated in Cancer. So it's kind of been hard. I think that it's going to take us getting into this summer, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, into the summer months when Mars goes into Leo. Mars loves being in Leo, for us to really get back to our more natural form of direct expression. I think that we've been in a crisis of expression. The Mars retrograde in Gemini definitely indicated that there was a little bit of a problem with the way that people were communicating themselves. Also a big growth in, like, what would I call it? Haughtiness and basically ego and condescending ways of basically expressing oneself that was coming out with Mars and Gemini. It can be a very obnoxious energy. And then also with the retrograde, it indicated that a lot of people were basically working on the way that they communicated their ego, and perhaps also having some negative issues with like ego clash. So clashing egos, having like war of ego, feud of ego was definitely something that a lot of us were dealing with up into the latter half of 2022 and very recently. And now Mars is in Cancer. It's now debilitated, and yes, it will move into Leo at the end of May. And I think that by then we are looking at a much healthier ability to express, but it comes through the lessons that we take on now. So there can be a lot of emotional conflicts with Mars and Cancer, and I want you guys to all be preparing basically to do yourself justice, okay? And to do your own emotional expression justice with this transit of Mars in Cancer. So it's going to be very easy over these next few months to be reactionary. It's going to be very easy to also have direct emotional conflicts, or like
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel with a weekly message, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter regarding love. It is a general message, and so this may or may not resonate with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, I do encourage you to check out other signs in your chart. As we know, tarot's energy is fluid, and so this could be past, present, or future, and this could play out from the perspective of the cross watcher. It could be vice versa, reverse, flipped, etc. So place yourself wherever it resonates, only if it resonates to your situation. All right, Aries, overall energy for you is the Five of Pentacles. This says struggle avenue. So there could be some sort of hardship here that you are going through or having to deal with. It can talk about financial hardship. It can talk about needing to leave someone or something out in the cold, or feeling left behind, feeling abandoned by someone, or you're needing to do this. So we have the Pentacles. It talks about walking away, though, from something. Yeah, your current situation is the Page of Swords with the Chariot Cancerian energy. You're receiving, they said a tip. So for some of you, you're getting some sort of information about someone, all right? Whether they're sending you a message or you find this out on your own. But whatever it is, whatever messages or clarity it is that you receive, it causes you to take action to move away from it, to move away from this person or situation, based off of what you hear or find out or what they communicate to you. Your goal and your focus is the Eight of Wands. So you do want to focus on some sort of messages, on some sort of communication so that you can move forward. Now, the Chariot is fast energy. The Eight of Wands is fast energy. So there could be unexpected messages, unexpected communication, unexpected truth that kind of just falls into your lap, whether you were looking for it or not. In the past, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Something has been moving very slowly. It's funny. In the past, it was moving very slowly, but now energetically it's picking up. So we'll see. Your strength is the Ten of Wands. So you've been able to accomplish and overcome some very difficult times. The Ten of Wands talks about heavy burdens. So there's something here that has been challenging you. It has felt like an uphill battle. You didn't give up though. You pushed through. And in your immediate future, we have the Knight of Cups. We have a proposal. We have an offer, an emotional one. The reason why this is all happening is the Six of Swords. You've detached from something, Aries, or you're going to. You're detaching from something and you're trying to move on towards something bigger and better. And you may meet someone with this Page of Swords. It could be a new person in a very unexpected way, kind of out of the blue when you least expect it. Because what's going on around you when you're unaware of it, there's a King of Pentacles showing up. Someone that's steady, they're stable, they're reliable. You can count on them. It could be you, but it could be someone around you. So we'll see. Your hope is the Lovers, Gemini energy. You want to connect with someone on a soul level. Whether this is someone that you know or not. I mean, you want to be with a soulmate. You want to be with someone that you feel understands you. You want to be with someone that you feel gets you. You know, you want to be with someone that you feel you have a calling to, a purpose with. The outcome is a Ten of Swords. You're going through something painful or you're getting ready to complete that cycle and wrap it up. So let's clarify, Aries. Why is the Five of Pentacles here? Mid-September for Aries. Why is the Five of Pentacles here? We have the Sun. That's interesting, Leo energy. So you could be walking away from a Leo. Okay. Tell me a little bit more. Wow, there's the Sun and the Emperor. Okay, so you're either Aries, you are struggling to be positive and optimistic about something. You're either struggling to see the abundance in a situation or that you will have a happy ending. Either you're struggling to see that or you recently had some sort of revelation about something and you know you need to take charge and walk away and detach from that connection. Let's get some more information. Justice, wow, Libra energy. Okay, major arcana, all major arcana. So Aries, for some of you, you've recently discovered something and you may have moved out of your home or someone that you were with moved out of the home. You guys may have been married here, may have gotten a divorce or some sort of separation. So for some of you, justice has been served. You are walking out of a situation where you didn't feel fulfilled in. You're turning your back on a situation that you did not feel emotionally fulfilled, happy in, secure, stable. It was not balanced. And you're going toward a brand new beginning. A brand new beginning, one that is balanced, one that is right for you. It's a bright future. It's a fresh start. For others of you, you don't feel as positive or optimistic as you need to be about this brand new beginning. It's like you're struggling to be optimistic about something, or you lack the confidence. But it does feel like you needed to leave something behind, even if this person left you behind, and there was a revelation. Something was revealed here for your benefit and your favor. Let's see. Page of Swords. You have the King of Swords, air energy, and the Two of Pentacles. Some of you guys may have discovered that somebody was juggling. Somebody may have discovered that someone was juggling in the situation, Aries, with the Two of Pentacles. And the truth came out. If you were dealing with someone that was juggling and playing games with you, it's like you walked away and detached from that connection because it wasn't right, it wasn't balanced for you, it wasn't fair, and you're making a decision to move on. For others of you, you may be the one that has the option, and you're trying to figure out what's best for you. You know, the King of Swords is making a logical decision about the options that you have. So you were either dealing with somebody that's juggling, or you do have more than one option. A decision will be made, though, Aries. Tell me about the Chariot. Tell me about the Chariot. Why is the Chariot here for Aries? We have the Eight of Swords. And the Three of Pentacles. Okay, Aries, there's an opportunity here for you to build with somebody. Okay, there's an opportunity for you to have a connection with someone. Now, you either have options, Aries, and you're making a decision about who you want to move forward with. And it's not an easy decision with the Eight of Swords. It is one, especially if you have options where you don't really know, is this someone that you want to build with? Do you want to work with them or not? Or you could be dealing with somebody. You could be dealing with someone that has options. Tell me about the Eight of Wands. Oh, wow. We have the Two of Swords, the Empress, Taurus, Libra, the Hierophant, Taurus, the Devil, Capricorn energy, and the Ace of Wands. Okay. There, you have a strong attraction towards someone, Aries, or vice versa. They have a strong attraction toward you. It feels like you're unsure if you can grow with this individual. I don't know if they're a new person or if they're old, but you do have options. It's like you're kind of weighing pros and cons and figuring out, should you proceed? Should you move forward toward this connection? And if you move forward with it, is it something that will grow? Is it something that will manifest into something abundant? Will it manifest into a higher level of commitment? Will it manifest into something very passionate? But it does feel like there's a lack of clarity, like you're kind of indecisive or you're unsure about this opportunity. Knight of Pentacles. In the past, this connection has been moving slowly with the Four of Wands. This union has been developing over time. You're trying to take your time moving slow. So either this came in really slowly for you and you don't know if you should move forward toward this opportunity, or you were around somebody and maybe you were juggling or they were juggling, things were kind of unclear. They've been developing slowly. Ten of Wands. Seven of Swords. Okay, so Aries, you've been dealing with somebody that has been shady or very sneaky and kind of unfaithful toward you. I don't know if this is the same person or if these are two different people, two different experiences. Because like I said, there is a connection here. Things seem to be unstable. It's like someone's trying to make a decision if they want to proceed in the connection. If I do, I feel like you're trying to figure out, is this going to lead to a higher level of commitment? Is this going to lead to something that's healthy, something that you can grow in? Things have been moving slowly in the past. You've overcome a lot of pain. You've overcome some sort of betrayal with the Seven of Swords. Maybe someone did you dirty or lied to you or stabbed you in the back. You've overcome that. Tell me about the Knight of Cups in the immediate future. You have the Star card. Wow, Aquarius energy here. You're either getting an apology, Aries, or you're getting something here that you want. There's wish fulfillment regarding your love life in your immediate future. There is someone that's offering something to you. They're making a proposal, or you're doing this to them. The Eight of Wands, there's communication. You're getting messages from someone that you have feelings for, but they have feelings for you regarding your love life and how you guys are going to move forward. Six of Swords for Aries. We have the Six of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. So you're moving on. Okay, so Aries, you're moving toward a brand new beginning. You're detaching from a situation, a relationship where it wasn't fair. Somebody may have been giving to another person, another situation. You're moving away from some sort of betrayal, and you're starting completely over. You could be starting completely over with a new person, or the person that breadcrumbed you in the past is coming back. They're showing back up with an apology. But you are detaching from a situation that was not fair for you. You're detaching from a situation where someone was not giving the way you were giving in that connection. Things were moving slowly. There was some sort of betrayal or shady behavior going on. You're moving towards something stable and brand new in your future. Why is the King of Pentacles here? You have the Seven of Cups. You have options, Aries. You have more than one option. So you could be dealing with this person. That's why I said I don't know if there are two different people at this point. So you could be dealing with this person from the past that was shady. You could be dealing with new people, but you have action in your love life. You do have communication and messages from someone that has feelings for you. Like I said, it could be an apology with the Star card, trying to make things right. The Spirit is telling you that you have options. Tell me more about the King of Pentacles. Or you're around somebody that does. The Nine of Wands. The Five of Cups. Interesting. So there's someone you're confused about, Aries. There's someone that you're unsure. There's a lack of clarity here. You don't really know if this opportunity or this connection is going to lead to stability in your future. There is someone that you are unsure about. You're juggling. You're kind of going back and forth whether or not this is someone that you can have an abundant relationship with, an abundant future with. Yeah, you're unsure. Tell me about the Lovers. We have the Six of Swords. Aries, you're making a decision to detach from somebody. You're making a decision to detach from someone. I do feel like you have options, Aries, but there is someone around you that stands out as someone that you are uncertain about. There's a lack of clarity. There's some sort of boundaries and restrictions. You don't necessarily trust this individual, and you're detaching from the connection. You're walking away from it. Anything else about the Lovers? The Death card. Yeah, Scorpio energy here. You're walking away from a very strong connection. You're walking away from it for various reasons. Either you don't trust this individual. You may feel like they're toxic for you in your life. They may have options, but there's something here. It's like there's someone around you that tries to show up as the King of Pentacles, someone that looks steady and stable and honest and reliable. And then you discover that they have options. You discover that this is an illusion or that they're not truthful. And then there's a lot of disappointment and there's a loss around you. And then you're detaching from them. So it's like you're dealing with someone that you have a falling out with because of some sort of shady behavior. They send you a message, you guys are in communication. It does feel like sometimes it could be a cycle, very repetitive cycle. Maybe you guys are off and on. Things in the past are moving slowly between the two of you. In the future, though, it looks like you're getting something that you want. So if this is someone that you want to talk to and you want an apology from them, then they are reaching out, apologizing to you. But it does look like you end up walking away from them again, if that's the case. Tell me about the Ten of Swords. Yeah, the Four of Pentacles. Anything else for Aries? The King of Cups. Yeah, you are resisting somebody. There's someone that you're having a betrayal with. There's someone that I feel like you open up to, Aries, and then you are quite disappointed rather quickly after you opened up. It's like there's someone that you let into your heart space, and then you're very disappointed about that decision after you do it. I don't know if this is someone that you have dealt with already, and you guys had a falling out, and they come back, you open your heart up, and then they disappoint you again, or if this is someone new. But it does look like you open your heart, you are moving forward, you notice someone around you may have options, or there's a lack of clarity, there's a lot of illusions here, or they're resisting. There's something off about the connection. It causes you to walk away and detach from it, whether it's the same person or it's someone new. And yeah, you find yourself hurt by someone that you cared about with this King of Cups energy. What's the most important message for Aries? The most important message. The Four of Swords. Yeah, Aries, you need to heal, or you're going to need to heal from a situation here. You and this person, you may be on a break, or you may break up with somebody, and you need to heal from something that happened. It does look like you open your heart up to someone in the near future. You have plans to move forward with them. Then something that you don't expect happens, and it leaves you with a lot of disappointment and a lot of sadness and some sort of grief. You make a decision to detach again from this, whether it's the same person or not. So if it's two different people, it could just feel like the same situation that happens again. I was with this person in the past, it didn't work out, I opened my heart up to someone new, the same thing happened again. It could be with the same person. The energy feels very similar in the fact that something disappointing here happens here in your love life. And the most important message Spirit is telling you is to detach. It is to focus on yourself, because you may have recently gone through a separation, or you will in the month of September, where you need to kind of focus on yourself, heal, gain some sort of insight and clarity, get some alone time, and just take care of yourself, meditate, pray, rest after something here happens. So let's take a look in the extended reading. I'm going to take a look at the person that you're dealing with, Aries. I'll do a spread for the connection itself. If this is your story, you can either join us over on Patreon, or you can purchase this via my website. Both links are down below. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to the Tarot Room. My name is Robin Cape. Today, we are going to do a what you need to know reading. Let's talk about you. Let's see what's being hidden for you, or let's see what's coming down the chute, what's happening in the near future, or what's already happened, and you're trying to look for the silver lining in it. Let's talk about your Capricorn. Spirit guides, what does Capricorn need to know right now? Talk to us. Cappy, for those of you who are interested, mending, okay. For those of you who are interested, I am doing personal readings. If you want one, that link is in the description box below. All right, let's talk about you. So, mending. So the first card out, what are you mending? What are you fixing? What's going on here? The Hermit, fixing yourself. The Two of Swords is how it's going to affect you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Yeah, there's a Five of Wands is what you need to hear. And the Star, there's healing. Okay. The Hermit, okay, let's clarify, because what I feel is there's somebody, could be a friend, could be a family member, could be a coworker, could be a lover, but somebody wants to mend things with you. Someone wants to, mend broken bridges here. What is this Hermit energy, the Ten of Wands, the Ace of Wands? They want a new beginning with you. I feel there's silence. Maybe you stop talking to this person. Maybe you cut this person off. Or maybe there's just, didn't go, yeah, the Fool in reverse. Nine of Wands. The Devil. There you are. And the Nine of Cups. So someone's realized how special you are to them here. And the Ten of Wands, the Ace of Wands, they want to drop the burden. They, honestly, what I feel is they don't care how silly they look, how foolish they are, how dumb they might feel. They're coming to talk to you. They're coming to fix this. They want you back in their life. The Like I said, they realize how special you are and what you mean to them. The Nine of Wands kind of feels to me like you're going to be a little bit guarded. They hurt you. You wounded. You didn't just stop talking to someone for no reason. You don't just go around saying, fuck you, I'm going to stop talking to you today for no reason. So clearly they did a little something. But no matter how foolish they look, how silly they feel, they're coming to rekindle this here, Cap. So what you need to know is you have somebody making a return. Yeah. They want to talk. They want to work things out. They want a new beginning with you. There you are. There you are again. Obviously in this person's energy quite a bit. Now, there's the death. So there was an ending and a difficult ending. The death is not an easy ending. Well, no ending's really ever easy, right? Change isn't easy. Endings aren't easy. But they usually are what's for the best. So that's what you need to know. Someone wants to fix this. Someone realizes how important you are, and they don't want to lose you here. How it's going to affect you is the Two of Swords. It's going to put you in a crossroads. You want to say anything else about that? Yeah, there's a person returning from the past. Nine of Cups. The Three of Wands. And the Tower. Ooh. And the Page of Wands. You're surprised. You're not expecting to hear from this person. I always feel like that when they get the Tower and the Page of Wands. Well, I don't really feel like that. That's literally what that comes. Oh, so it's not, it could be anything, right? This could be a boss. This could be a family member. Maybe it's a family business. For a lot of you, I feel like it's love because that's just where our mind always goes. But it's someone who was stubborn. It just could be your best friend. It could be your buddy. It could be a brother. It's a strong masculine energy who was a little stubborn, a little protected, a little guarded. They're about to drop their guard here. They want you in their life. It's just that simple, Kat. And I think that what they're going to say is going to surprise you because the Tower is here. Now, if they have to move, if they have to physically move, the Tower is the card of movement. It's a card of change. It's a card of unexpected changes, abrupt changes, shocking changes coming through to you. But it's going to put you at a crossroads here. Do you want to do this? Can you forgive this person? Can you move forward? Do you want them in your life? There's a Magician. There's the Three of Swords. They really hurt you. The question is, can you forgive and trust? Right? And that takes time to figure out. So you're at a crossroads here by this person making this unexpected grand entrance back into your life. You know what I'm seeing in my head, which is really strange? What the hell? I'm seeing Dumb and Dumber in my head. That scene where they're at the ski chalet and they're like walking through the, you know why I'm seeing that? Because this person doesn't care how foolish they look. And they're wearing really silly outfits when they're in that scene. So they're a damn fool for you. They don't care how dumb they look, how stupid they look, how they feel. They just want you. That's all they know. And that's just what's guiding them here. And what you need to hear is the Five of Wands. It might cause an argument. What do you want to say about that? Six of Pentacles, eh? Maybe you felt like they breadcrumbed. Hold on, let me get the rest of the cards out. The Ten of Wands becomes a burden in your life. Lovers, you have a decision to make. There's a Six of Wands. There's a Ten of Cups. Damn, they're sweetening you up, buttering you up, giving you some damn sweet tarts, Capricorn. And you're conflicted. I don't know if this is a fight with them. It could be inner conflict. It could literally be an argument. Like, what the fuck are you doing coming back after you did what you did? But I don't sense that. Maybe for some of you it is. I sense it's more of a conflict within you. You're getting a lot of attention from this person. They're being very sweet. Like I said, I just get that sweet tart vibe. But can you give to this? Maybe whatever this is, it's a burden to you and you don't know what you want to do here. The Lovers, for many of you, it is a relationship. But the Lovers is also attempting a choice, a difficult decision. But ultimately, the purpose of the card is to decide what's best for you. The snake can represent temptation. You're being tempted, but it also can represent healing. Are you going to do what's best for you or are you going to do what's best for the snake? So you got a decision to make here, Kat. That's what you need to know. You are their happiness. Like I said, they don't want you. Yeah, they're stressed. They could be thinking about you at night, up all night, waking up, having sweat, seeing someone like sweat. Where's my Capricorn? I don't know why I get this desperate feeling. This person really misses you. And justice, they want to make things right. They want to move forward. Maybe they have a lot of regrets. When you have regrets, they can eat us alive. So you have a decision to make. And there's the Star wanting to heal this, giving you a lot of attention. So, Kat, let's get a few oracles. We'll see where you are in a month. This person's making the grand return. You're not really expecting. I feel how sweet they are and how strong they're about to come on, how much they miss you, really. Maybe you weren't even thinking about them. Maybe they were nothing but, that Goche song, somebody you used to know, but they don't want it to be that way. So, we shall get you a few oracles, and we'll see where you guys are in a month and what you decide to do here, Kat. So, let's see what you need to surrender to. Oh, resentments, eh? Resentments. So, holding on to resentments only poisons you. Try to forgive others for their shortcomings and keep moving forward towards positive situations in your life. Let's grab your lesson. What's a lesson here, so Capricorn? Purpose. I know what I'm here to do. Okay. And let's get your energy oracle, and then we'll get back to the tarot, get your outcome. So spirit guides, what's the energy oracle message to help Capricorn with this very difficult decision? Oh, we got a few. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel, eh? Okay. What's with it? Whoa, look at these numbers. 336, the power of 369, and 52, the goddess of the moon, Capricorn. I'll tell you something, you're in a really good energy. Maybe that's why this person misses you so much. The goddess of the moon is the Isis archetype, man or woman. Very intuitive, very caring, very in touch with who you are, what you are. Like I said, your purpose. You know who you are. You know what you came to this world to do. There's no confusion on who you are as a person. I feel like you're also at a very magical time, right? The power of 369 is a really good time for manifestations, teachings of Nikola Tesla. But those are really magical numbers that tell me that you're in an opportune time for manifestation, which means you're going to get whatever you want as long as you're following your heart. And blossoming abundance is, well, it's just that. Blossoming abundance. Getting everything that you want, getting the fruits of your labor. The harvest is coming through. You're going to be really happy. And the second chakra is about intimacy. And the card literally says to let intimacy in, let love in. You're ready for a healthy relationship. You're ready for that. Now, whether this is love or relationship, that'll be different for each of you. Sometimes, for some of you, I really do get it's a family member, but not for everybody. And some of you will totally be love. But it could also be a message to, no, I don't get that message at all. Sometimes when you see the chakras, it's a message to balance them, maybe balance them, but I don't feel that at all. I just feel you know who you are. You're ready for a healthy relationship. You're ready for healthy boundaries. And that's just being reaffirmed here. So let's grab your outcome. Let's get your cards here. So let's get potential outcome. Saw the love bars. I don't know what my problem is. I have to say it like Pauly Shore. I don't know why. I haven't even seen like a Pauly Shore movie in like 20 years. But he must say that in some movie. I think it's an Encino Man or something. But anyway, let's get your potential outcome. So when I say potential, there's always free will. You're going to make the decisions you're going to make. And when I say outcome, where are you in a month with this person? How does it go? Do you move forward with this person? Do you let them? Oh, there's a Chariot. There's a Knight of Cups. Hold on. What else is here? Those are two really good cards. Those are cards are flying. Those are cards of happiness and success. So what's this? Two of Swords. The crossroads is no longer there. Three of Pentacles. I'm taking that first from the bottom here. Ten of Wands with the Moon. I'll tell you something. So that Judgment's in reverse. I think you're being realistic here. I don't believe you took this person back or you welcome this person back into your life. I feel that you let them go for a reason. They're too much of a burden. They cause too many problems. There's people that come into our lives and they make it better. And then there's people in our lives who make it worse. Family member, friend, lover. I don't feel this was a person that made your life better. I feel this person was the person that brought you down. And I don't see you. I see you moving forward like you're happy. Like I said, you're in a really good energy. And I just see you moving forward on your own, doing your own thing. The treasure is within you. And I know this person really wants you in their life, but I don't feel you want them in yours. That Two of Swords in reverse tells me you've made the decision. The Three of Pentacles tells me you've told them that. But that can also mean communication. That can also mean cooperation. But with that Judgment in reverse, the Ten of Wands and the Moon, I don't think you trust this person's intentions. I don't think you think this person has changed. I think you feel it like they draw you off course. You know how we had that card, I know what I'm here to do. And I feel like this person pulls you off. It's like the best friend is a bad influence, and you always get in trouble when you're with that best friend as a teenager. And it's like, I know you're not good for me. I can't be your friend. But can you clarify the Three of Pentacles?
This reading. This is the number 11 card, of course, connecting with the number 1111. And this card says sacred convergence. So I'm just going to be reading a little bit from the guidebook here. Roaming about town, the master was holding a light, saying, I am weary of the demons and the beasts.
This audio presentation of the Essene Book of Creation by Edmund Bordeaux Sekeli is brought to you by audioenlightenment.com. Copyright 2014, all rights reserved. Path of consciousness. There are three paths leading to truth. The first is the path of the consciousness, the second that of nature, and the third is the accumulated experience of past generations, which we receive in the shape of the great masterpieces of all ages. From time immemorial, man and humanity have followed all three paths. The first path to truth, the path of the consciousness, is that followed by the great mystics. They consider the consciousness is the most immediate reality for us and is the key of the universe. It is something which is in us, which is us. And throughout the ages, the mystics have made the discovery that the laws of the human consciousness contain an aspect not found in the laws governing the material universe. A certain dynamic unity exists in our consciousness, where one is the same time many. It is possible for us to have simultaneously different thoughts, ideas, associations, images, memories, and intuitions occupying our consciousness within fragments of a minute or a second. Yet all this multiplicity will still constitute only a single dynamic unity. Therefore, the laws of mathematics, which are valid for the material universe and are key to its understanding, will not be valid in the field of consciousness, where 2 and 2 do not necessarily make 4. The mystics also found that measurements of space, time, and weight, universally valid in nature and throughout the material universe, are not applicable to the consciousness, where sometimes a few seconds seem like hours or hours like minutes. Our consciousness is not in space and therefore cannot be measured in spatial terms. It has its own time, which is very often timelessness. So temporal measurement cannot be applied to truth reached by this path. The great mystics discovered that the human consciousness, besides being the most immediate and the inmost reality for us, is at the same time our closest source of energy, harmony, and knowledge. The path to truth leading to and through the consciousness produced the great teachings of humanity, the great intuitions, and the great masterpieces throughout the ages. Such then is the first path to or source of truth, as the Essene tradition understand and interpret it. Unfortunately, the magnificent original intuitions of the great masters very often lose their vitality as they pass down the generations. They are often modified, distorted, and turned into dogmas, and all too frequently their values become petrified in institutions and organized hierarchies. The pure intuitions are choked by the sands of time and eventually have to be dug out by seekers of truth able to penetrate into their essence. Another danger is that persons following this path, the path of the consciousness, to truth may fall into exaggerations. They come to think that this is the only path to truth and disregard all others. Very often, too, they apply the specific laws of the human consciousness to the material universe where they lack validity and ignore the proper laws to the proper sphere. The mystic often creates for himself an artificial universe, farther and farther removed from reality, till he ends by living in an ivory tower, having lost all contact with reality and life. The path of nature. The second of these three paths is the path of nature. While the first path of the consciousness starts from within and penetrates thence into the totality of things, the second path takes the opposite way. Its starting point is the external world. It is the path of the scientist and has been followed in all ages through experience and through experiment, through the use of inductive and deductive methods. The scientist, working with exact quantitative measurements, measures everything in space and time and makes all possible correlations. With his telescope, he penetrates into far and distant cosmic space, into the various solar and galactic systems. Through spectrum analysis, he measures the constituents of the different planets in cosmic space. And by mathematical calculation, he establishes in advance the movements of celestial bodies. Applying the law of cause and effect, the scientist established a long chain of cause and effects which help him to explain and measure the universe as well as life. But the scientist, like the mystic, falls somewhat into exaggeration. While science has transformed the life of mankind and has created great value for men in all ages, it has failed to give entire satisfaction in the solution of the final problems of existence, life, and the universe. The scientist has a long chain of cause and effect secure in all its particles, but he has no idea what to do with the end of the chain. He has no solid point to which he may attach the end of the chain, and so by the path of truth through nature and material universe, he is unable to answer the great questions concerning the beginning and end of all things.
The greatest scientist recognizes that in the metaphysical field beyond the scientific chain, there is something else, continuing from the end of the chain. However, there are also the dogmatic scientists who deny any other approach to truth than their own, who refuse to attribute reality to the facts and phenomena which they cannot fit into their own categories and classifications. The path to truth through nature is not that of the dogmatic scientist, just as the first path is not that of the one-sided mystic. Nature is a great open book in which everything can be found, if we learn to draw from all its inspiration which it has given to the great thinkers of all ages. If we learn her language, nature will reveal to us all the laws of life and its universe. It is for this reason that the great masters of humanity withdrew into nature. Zoroaster and Moses into the mountains, Buddha to the forest, Jesus to the desert, and thus followed this second path as well as that of the consciousness. The two paths do not contradict one another, but harmoniously complete one another in full knowledge of the laws of both. It was thus that the great teachers reached wonderful and profound truth which have given inspiration to millions throughout thousands of years. Path of culture. The third path to truth is the wisdom, knowledge, and experience acquired by the great thinkers of all ages and transmitted to us in the form of great teaching, the great sacred books or scriptures, and the great masterpieces of universal literature which together form what today we would call universal culture. In brief, therefore, our approach to truth is a threefold one, through consciousness, nature, and culture. In the following chapters, we shall follow this third path leading to truth and shall examine a portion of one of the great sacred books, the Old Testament, taking the early chapters of the book of Genesis, which tells the story of creation. There are different ways of studying these great books of humanity. One way, the way of all theologians and of the organized church, is to consider each text literally. This is a dogmatic way resulting from a long process of petrification by which truth are transformed into dogmas. When the theologian follows this most easy by one-sided path, he runs into endless contradictions and complications, and he reaches a conclusion as far removed from the truth as that of the scientific interpreter of these texts who rejects them as entirely valueless and without validity. The approaches of the dogmatic theologian and the exclusivist scientist represent two extremes. A third error is to believe, as do certain symbolists, that these books have no more than a symbolic content and are nothing more than parables. With their own particular way of exaggeration, these symbolists make thousands of different and quite contradictory interpretations of the great text. The spirit of the Essene tradition is opposed to all three of these ways of interpreting the great books of humanity and follows an entirely different approach. The Essene method of interpretation of these books is, on the one hand, to place them in harmonious correlation with the laws of the human consciousness and of nature, and on the other, to consider the facts and circumstances of the age and environment in which they were written. This approach also takes into account the degrees of evolution and understanding of the people to whom the particular master was addressing his message. Since all the great masters had to adapt their teaching to the level of the audience, they found it necessary to formulate both an exoteric and esoteric teaching. The exoteric message was one comprehensible to the people at large and was expressed in terms of various rules, forms, and rituals corresponding to the basic need of the people and to the age concerned. Parallel with this, the esoteric teaching enshrined the complete and perfect expression of the truth for the benefit of those few persons at each period who were sufficiently advanced to receive the whole. These esoteric teachings have survived through the ages partly as written and partly as unwritten living traditions, free from forms, rituals, rules, and dogmas, and in all periods have been kept alive and practiced by a small minority. It is in this spirit of the interpretation of the truth that the book of Genesis will be examined in the following pages. Rejecting the dogmatic method of literal and purely scientific interpretation, as well as the exaggeration of the symbolist, we shall try to interpret the story of Genesis in the light of our consciousness and of nature, and in harmony with the great tradition of the Essenes, to whose brotherhood the author of Genesis himself belonged. The first book of Moses, of which Genesis is the beginning, was written in Hebrew and forms part of the canonical scripture adapted by the Church in the first century of the Christian era. However, there is another Hebrew text, the Essene book of creation, which was regarded as apocryphal by the Catholic Church and did not meet with the approval of the synods. In our interpretation, we shall consider the official text alongside the text of the Essene book of